never provide poor solutions to poor people, but they have also taught me that my courage is my capital.
10 minutes, 2 changemakers.
I'm not just going to sit down and let this happen again.
One sweet solution. Join me, Amelia Hoy, in conversation with Tony's favorite changemakers.
Hey, Amelia, how are you?
In a 5-part series that addresses shaking up the status quo.
If this is the future that we're headed towards, holy crap.
And addressing some of society's issues. India is the world's second largest population, yet millions of its women are without access to a bank account. That means they can't take out a loan to invest in property or in business or plan for their future. So how did a city girl from Mumbai manage to provide access for over 500,000 women in rural India? Chetna Gala Sinha has worked tirelessly for women's financial rights for over 2 decades, and I can't wait to see what she has to say. Hello, Chetna.
Hi, Amelia. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And how are you?
I'm fine.
So let's start with an easy question. Where are you from and what brought you to where you're sitting right now?
I was born and raised in Mumbai. I was always a Bombay girl. I was studying in Mumbai University, and I was doing my undergraduation program in Mumbai. At that time, I met a Gandhian leader, Jayaprakash Narayan. I was very much attracted toward the Gandhian organization, Gandhian movement, and I traveled across the country with him, Jayaprakash Narayan, and went to the villages of India. And in that village, will I be able to survive? This is, I'm talking about 3 decades before. And today, yes, I'm here. I have survived. Not only that, we have created the world's first rural women's bank, Mandeshi Bank.
But Chetna, before we start with the bank, I want to know what ignited that spirit inside of you.
In the villages, when I was going across the villages, I saw that people in this drought-prone area, in Maswad, in Satara, women were working on the sites and they were breaking the stones manually. And these women were doing that on the construction of the road, which actually it is given in jails for life imprisonment. Such a hard work. And so I felt that this is inhuman. You cannot give such work to human beings. And I decided that in the villages of India, if people are not getting decent work, if people are not getting decent wages, there is a need to work there. When women wanted to do savings, Kantabai, a street vendor, she was doing a business of blacksmith, and she wanted to save her money. Banks had denied opening her account.
Why?
I wasn't sure that if Kantabai has any surplus of saving. But okay. Kantabai was insistent. She said that I'm doing my business on the street and I do not have a shelter. In summer, it is very hot. Here, the temperature is around 47 degrees Celsius. And in monsoon, it rains. So I want to buy a tarpaulin sheet to cover my family, and that's why I want to open a saving account. So then I thought that there are so many women in the villages who want to open the saving account, who want to save their money, who want to do the financial planning, and banks are not opening their account. So why not start a bank for women like these? And so we decided that we'll set up the bank for women like Kantabai, and we applied for the banking license. But you know what? We didn't get the license. Our license was rejected by the Reserve Bank of India.
What do you think was the main reason why just because of the lack of initial funds to open an account? Or what do you think was the reason for their hesitation?
Because they said that our promoting members, our women members are not literate. And when there was a signature, they had given a thumb impression. On that ground, Reserve Bank rejected the license, saying that we cannot issue a license to the bank whose promoting members are non-literate. You know what our women said? We will learn to read and write from today. And a literacy class is started. Every day, in every village, women will come together after their work, whole day hard work, in evening, and sit to learn to read and write.
Wow.
They were so sure that they will learn to read and write and apply again for the banking license. After 5 months, we applied again. I decided that I will not go alone. Women will accompany me to Reserve Bank of India. We went to Mumbai. 15 women accompanied me. I wasn't sure how are we going to convince the officer, but I could see the confidence in our women, and they challenged the officer that we cannot read and write, but we can count. And they challenged the officer, asking him that ask us to calculate the interest of any principal amount. And if we fail, don't issue the license. But tell your officers to do it without calculator and see who can calculate faster.
And what happened?
I'm proud to share with you that we got the first license of the first rural women's bank in this country. Even today, sharing, I'm getting goosebumps. Kantabai is owning her own house.
I'm happy to hear that.
She owns her own property, and these women are getting dividend from the profit of the bank.
It's an amazing achievement. I want to go back to something that you mentioned because it's also very relevant in the cocoa industry. And it's the concept of women having autonomy over their own finances and having the ability later on to own land or purchase property or take out a loan. Why is it so important in rural India as well?
It used to happen at that time that their money were taken away by their husbands just for the drinking.
Right.
And so it was so important for our women that whatever we earn, we have a control on that money. And we will decide where to spend the money. And in our case of our women, they would always want to spend money for the children's education. They would always want to spend money to buy something for their children. It's very interesting, right? I'm surrounded by so many strong women. But if you see that how many women entrepreneurs are there in India, I generally don't like to talk with percentage and ratio, but in every 100 entrepreneurs, 4% of women who are in entrepreneurship. And one would be surprised, right?
It's so empowering to hear these stories because we're living in a world now where if we don't work together and share knowledge with each other and have these conversations, then you don't know how to keep going and to keep motivating. What are some of the things that the bank needs to consider moving into the future?
The one biggest thing which I have learned from people, from our women is that whenever they have any issue, listen to them. It was very important not to get into and advise them, but try to find the solutions and facilitate that. It's also not just taking the challenge, but understanding that what you are doing is it right? And this is when we were starting this digital banking with our women, many women said that we cannot remember PIN number. And I said that maybe we will train you, we will provide you financial literacy to all those women to remember. And they said, no, find some other solution. And so we thought that how do we create a market for all our women entrepreneurs? We started doing Zoom calls and doing the workshop remotely to explain women that how you can do the digital banking. And I am so happy. So many of our women have been able to bring their products on digital platform. And so many of them are getting the client who are doing e-shopping.
Did anyone ever say no to you?
Yes, many people said no, right? But I always saw that the people who said no, they were highly educated. This is a very aggressive and bit arrogant statement.
Don't worry.
But I saw that the no came from the highly educated people. The wisdom of yes came from the people who were not able to go to school. So these are like thousands of such stories of our women whom I always say that they have taught me that never provide poor solutions to poor people, but they have also taught me that my courage is my capital. And their courage has been mine.
It's amazing. Chetna, thank you so much for all of your insight and knowledge and wisdom. Really appreciate chatting with you.
Thank you so much. I also appreciated sharing with my experiences with you, Emily.
Thank you so much and hope to be in touch soon.
Hope to meet you sometime. Bye.
Thank you for participating in our conversation with Chetna. For me, it's really inspiring to hear how rejection can become one's main motivation in life. But it takes more than a 10-minute conversation to create a fair society. So please go to our website now and read more about how you can support Tony's mission and other sweet solutions from the series.